Hello. So I'm gonna talk today about a news article on the Yahoo News, the style section. It's titled Amber Rose Pulls a Kim Kardashian, but the two are more similar than you would think. Now, I read this article and uh, I find that the last paragraph has a nice summary. I'm gonna read that out. So the last paragraph says, interestingly, or sadly, depending on how you look at it, many women these days are looking to Kim for inspiration on how to become famous, even in a controversial manner. But both of these Libras have figured out how to make their bodies work in their favor, and both followed a similar path that has led them to fame, fortune, and Kanye West. To give a brief summary of this article, Amber Rose and Kim Kardashian have a lot in common, in particular in what they've been trying to do and what has actually been successful in bringing in fame and money, fortune to their lives. And that involves using their bodies and really just, in a very, like Kim Kardashian had her sex tape, for example, situation where through that she became famous. So it's simply a use of the woman's body to expose it and to draw attention that has led her to become famous. And similar to Amber Rose, she's also doing the same thing by also showing off her body and getting attention through that way. And, it did work in that way. It actually did get them everything that they wanted to have. And what I see in this article that isn't considered is how it's unrealistic that all the women or any women can really do this and achieve the same level as fame and fortune as these two celebrities. Basically, because the definition of celebrity requires to have many followers and many admirers, and it's not possible for everyone to be a celebrity, then that would sort of defeat the purpose of celebrity. So if you try to replicate the same thing that they've done, it won't really bring you success, only because their success is based on being unique, being only a few. Yet, I see that most women will perceive that this is actually a viable way and make that mistake, and not taking into consideration that what they are doing is only really reserved for a few to benefit. Take for example, in our daily lives when we buy something that's very unique, and things that are unique are often considered rare, and rare things are considered expensive, or high quality, or good taste. And so if everyone had the same, let's say, fashion accessory, the same Rolex, or the same house, or whatever, then the specialness will go away, and it will be worth more. It wouldn't be worth more. So that's something to consider. With the same thing with celebrity, it's the same point where it's only because a few are doing it that is considered amazing or great. Well, if everyone is doing it, then it wouldn't be considered that special. Another thing to consider here is that the reason why their particular actions are working is due to an almost unconscious response from people to nudity, and that relates to cultural upbringing, where if you look in cultures where everyone is naked all the time or wear very little clothing all the time, then being naked or wearing little clothes wouldn't be considered as a great or big deal. So that's something to take into consideration, that just simply because the majority of the time we don't see people naked, that when people do appear naked, then that leads to a kind of response within people almost on an emotional or unconscious level that brings attention to that. And, as we know, attention is what sort of brings in money. When we look at advertisement, the more attention your advertisements receive, the more money it will get. So the same thing too with celebrities, it's all about getting attention. And the more attention you can get, the more you will receive that celebrity status, and so receive all of the benefits, including money, which is what Kim Kardashian and Amber Rose did. So it's something to take into consideration as well. So I would definitely suggest no one to really go for that point, only because it's really reserved for a few, and it really doesn't give any value towards life, towards people, to actually add something of worth and of value to someone's life. Okay. This is Yogan Barrientos reporting on this news article and providing my perspectives. Thank you very much for listening. Bye.